For Complex News, I'm Pierce Simpson. On Monday evening, the world mourned the untimely death of 20-year-old rapper XXXTentacion, who was unjustly murdered while shopping for motorcycles in South Florida. While the Florida native had immense success during his short time on Earth, some of those accolades included having a #1 debut album and millions of streams across multiple platforms, the artist himself seemed to be embroiled in controversy from the start of his career. From disturbing allegations of domestic abuse to alleged hate crimes, despite his amazing music to some, his troubled past tended to cloud his rocket-like trajectory of his success. In fact, some would credit his success to the allure of his troubled past. However, despite X's tragic end, the ongoing question of separating artists from artistry continues to be a topic of societal discussion. To be real, at this point, it's not even a discussion. Things are changing, at least we think. From the Me Too movement to the open and rightful backlash of this current presidential administration, the mobilization of communities and demographics has been apparent due to the rise of social media. And with that mobilization creates louder voices who share their opinions on powerful platforms. And with any powerful tool, it can be weaponized, thus creating the dilemma of having to potentially draw the line between our favorite art and the artist that creates it. A moment that comes to mind is the manic-like behavior of Kanye West in May of this year as he went on a Twitter tear endorsing President Donald Trump with tweets like, "You don't have to agree with Trump, but the mob can't make me not love him. We are both dragon energy. He is my brother. I love everyone. I don't agree with everything anyone does. That's what makes us individuals, and we have the right to independent thought." Or going to TMZ and irresponsibly stating that slavery is a choice. Kanye West placed many of his fans in a predicament. Have we lost our idol that shaped our creativity with his intellectual rebellion, or has homie finally lost himself to that sunken place that we all discuss? While we love his work, his rhetoric during that week had dangerous consequences to many. After his tirades, fans vowed to boycott his music, but ultimately those boycotts seemed to be nuanced because Pusha T's album Daytona released to critical acclaim, and the next two albums released on Good Music, Kanye's Ye and Kids See Ghosts, are both simultaneously on the Billboard Top 100. Essentially, those boycotts were empty threats, because Ye's success still resonated, showing that in 2018 it's difficult to ignore the art from the troubled artists. But Kanye is merely just the latest figure in a long list of supremely talented artists to have questionable pasts. From Elvis Presley allegedly taking 14-year-old girls on the road with him, to John Lennon's alleged domestic abuse of women, to Chris Brown's conviction back in 2009. The list goes on of incredible artists with checkered personal journeys. While it seems to be a case-by-case basis of how we react to the artist, the growing trend seems to be retroactive stances, like Spotify's decision to remove R. Kelly from his playlist in early 2018. R. Kelly has been alleged throughout the years to have inappropriate relationships with minors and was even recently described as having an alleged sex cult in Atlanta. After Spotify's decision to remove the music of R. Kelly and the late XXXTentacion, the music industry itself rebelled against this action. Notably, TDE head honcho Top Dawg, who was quoted as saying, "I reached out to Troy over there, we had a conversation. I expressed how I feel about it, about censorship, and how you can't do artists that way. I don't think it's right for artists to be censored, especially in our culture." While Top Dawg's sentiment is very valid and nuanced, the statement itself just further perpetuates the issue of being able to separate the art from the artist. And in fact, Spotify's decision to rectify things amidst backlash just strengthened it. We rolled this out wrong and could have done a much better job. The whole goal with this was to make sure that we didn't have hate speech. It was never about punishing one individual artist or even naming one individual artist. Is it virtually impossible to separate the artist from the music? Because with hip-hop in particular, we want our artists to be authentic, even if their lyrics aren't something we'd actually partake in personally.
There's a point where you have to kind of like separate the music from the person.
Because you don't like someone as a person, it doesn't mean that they're untalented. You can't take that away from them. It's not right.
You always hear the bad now, but you gotta be looking for the good.
Well, everybody loves Kanye West. Now everybody's kind of like not sure about him because of the fact that like it's like saying racism was a choice. I mean, not racism, but slavery was a choice. Like I don't know how to feel about that because of course it wasn't a choice. People don't just choose to be enslaved.
For me, I'm more about like what I put into my body, so I choose to listen to things or read things that's gonna like feed me. I don't necessarily agree with what he says. I think he's a very talented artist.
I still jam to Kanye, but like sometimes I'm like, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? You need to like back up and chill a little bit.
I listen to the old Kanye. His new album, I have not picked it up. I will not download it. I'm sorry. I've heard little snippets on the Shade Room, but I will not. I'm probably not going to listen to that.
To be honest, every now and again I do listen to his music.
He said those things, yeah, but I just can't see Kanye from 10 years ago saying that. So that's why I listen to the album to figure out what's going through his head, to figure out, like, does he really mean this? Or is it just something going on? Like, is it his depression, anxiety, everything that's getting to him?
Kanye West, his political views, I don't really mind. I love his music though. I don't really care about his political views. I don't care for it.
It makes me want to listen to his music more, actually, just to figure out what's really going on.
While music seems to fall behind the swift justice that the movie and television industry has shown with its Me Too movement and non-tolerance of racism, whether that's Bill Cosby being tried for past alleged sexual assaults, to Harvey Weinstein awaiting trial for rape allegations, to Roseanne Barr having her show pulled from ABC for racist tweets, this new climate is shifting culture dramatically. While it seems the music industry tends to fall behind the likes of the film and television industry when it comes to particular stances, it's taking stances of morality in hip-hop or music in general being hypocritical. We love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comment section down below and keep it locked to Complex News by subscribing to us on YouTube. For Complex News, I'm Pierce Simpson.